All right. Who's up?
How would you describe the season as a whole?
I'm not in the appropriate place to kind of reflect on the entire season. I think the thing about this team and a team sport was we had goals that weren't accomplished tonight, and I think one of the reasons that it hurts so bad is because nobody nobody on this team really harbored all the excuses. They kind of whether all the different variables that people would talk about, injuries, weather, all that stuff. We came here to win. Didn't happen. We fell short of our goals. We had very strong expectations for ourselves. One of the reasons a lot of people don't put themselves out there and hold those expectations is because when you fall short from them, it's emotional, it's gut wrenching, and in terms of kind of categorizing the season or really other macro things about stuff moving forward, I don't think it does justice to the team. In the appropriate way. We lost a game. We were 100% all in, fearlessly feeling as though we would win. But hats off to the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat us, outplayed us, outcoached us, all those things. And so that's kind of where my mind's at. It's hard for me to really. Yeah, I'll be better answering that maybe during the week or whenever you guys next see me. But tonight's about tonight, and it hurts.
Like in the immediate aftermath of this loss, and really what we saw from the offense in the final month or so of the season, especially like against the better defenses in the league, do you see the offense's kind of struggles in the areas like a fundamental flaw or something that can be fixed in the offseason with kind of like minor tweaks?
Well, I think the season's a journey. I think you're either getting better or getting worse. I think there's there's some good things and bad things, like there always will be. But I don't really look at it as like this offense is. That's a ever evolving thing, and what I do know is we'll be in a situation where we'll be trying to get better, and the same. I think we were a better team and a better. You're specifically talking about offense than last year, and that's the point. I think there's a lot of things that we'll look at that'll have concrete, actual, solid information on what we can do, moving forward to get better. But that's the objective of the off season, is you're trying to identify exactly what those things are, and then improve upon that. I think it's the we would always like to be the best at and win all of our games. That's what we were intending to do. So there's a lot to learn from that. We'll get to. Fast and furious as the off season begins.
Like the nature of the NFL, now every guy have on a couple of weeks back next year. How tough was it addressing them for the final time this season?
As tough as it gets, just because everyone poured their heart and soul into it. That is the nature of the business. That there's salary caps, and there's just a lot of different moving parts. So that's one thing that I know this team didn't run from. I'd kind of alluded to that idea the season before, and I feel like the team understood the gravity with which you have to approach each team. That you're going to have, on average, there's 30 new players each season, including practice squad. So, that's the tough part. That's what guys were fighting for. No one used anything as an excuse. Everyone, one thing I didn't see in that locker room was finger pointing or excuse making. There was just a lot of emotion with regard to hurt, which is what happens when you make yourself vulnerable enough to having high expectations that we didn't hide from. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of a lot of things with regard to this team, which is one of the reasons we're trying to do everything we could to make sure this wasn't the last game, and it was. So you have to learn from it, but that will come in the near future. Tonight I'm just trying to aid some of those hurt souls, and we'll take a hard look at all those things moving forward.
You average almost 13 points over the last 4 games, and the quarterback is going to get a lot of the criticism. What does Tua need to do better going forward?
I mean, I think I'm always, I think everyone has to get better, because if you're not getting better, staying the same is getting worse almost. So, it'd be a far cry from just placing blame on one player. I know he made some good plays tonight. I know there's some plays that he'd want to have back. I know there's some calls that I made that I liked, and there's definitely some that I want to have back. And I think that goes across the board. There was a lot of really good things, and we've all learned to have high expectations for that unit, and 7 points isn't good enough, and so then we'll have to live with that and learn from that as we try to take another step, because that's what you're always trying to do. But I think for me, at least for me tonight, it's hard to even take those big picture. I'm just processing this loss. I was expecting to have a schedule next week where, depending on if it was a Saturday or Sunday night game, I was more thinking about that, not exit interviews. So I don't mean to disregard it. It's just kind of it's a tough time for me to give real feedback towards big picture questions when we were thinking about one game at a time and trying to deliver to what we all wanted to deliver to the fan base, which is a long-awaited playoff victory that we fell short of. You can look at it as what we didn't have, or you can look at it as who stepped up. So, injuries are part of the game. It's hard for me as a coach who's invested in these players to sit here and say, well, this isn't or that isn't good enough. We had a very good roster that had depth. Injuries are part of the game, and the bottom line is that we every year you expect to have to count on your depth, down the stretch of the season, and I think every year, to a point, you're not going to have every single one of your starters that you started the season with, and you have to find a way to evolve and adjust to the skill sets of your players. So, whether it's the case or not, it's just going to be tough for me to ever like say, okay, it's okay because we had injuries. A lot of people have injuries. That's kind of where I come from.
Mike, how did you feel about how the physicality of the Chiefs defensive back impacted your passing game?
I thought they did a good job. We knew that was going to be the plan. They had shown those elements when we played them in Germany, and I think we struggled to find a rhythm that we wanted to, and we had a good plan. I thought the guys were very prepared.